Hey there. Do you ever wonder why you sometimes read your horoscope or you watch your horoscopes on YouTube and they don't really make sense to you? The horoscope doesn't resonate with what's going on in your life. Or maybe you're somebody who has looked at horoscopes a bunch and they never really seem to track. So you've given up. You just come to the conclusion that astrology is a bunch of BS. Or maybe you read the horoscopes and they don't speak to you, but when you read about the qualities of your zodiac sign, those kind of make sense. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that your horoscope is wrong. What it probably means is that you have just been reading it wrong or paying attention to the wrong thing through no fault of your own. Stick around and I'll explain what I mean, and I'll tell you how you should be reading or listening to your horoscope for maximum benefit. Hi, I'm Lara, astrology maven, teacher, rabble rouser, mom of teenagers. Welcome to my channel. I hope you like what you find here, and if you do, I hope you stick around and I hope you subscribe. Before we get into the reason for this particular video, I want to let you know that I also do horoscopes for every new and full moon. Those come out every second Wednesday, and they go into a more in-depth look at the current astrology and what it means for each sign. So to balance that out, I've decided to offer you these shorter astro nuggets in between. Every second week, I'll post a shorter video like this one, where I take a specific question or a topic and I answer it in simple terms. You can learn a lot in small chunks over time. On that note, let's dive into the reason you clicked on this video. Why is it when you read or you watch your horoscope for, the week or the month or whatever it may be, it doesn't really resonate with you? But on some level, you do seem to resonate with your zodiac sun sign when you read the description. So, for example, say you're a Virgo. You might resonate with the basic description of Virgo, right? Things like you are discerning or practical, analytical, maybe a bit critical, very anxious, very detail oriented, earthy. The list goes on. But when you read or you listen to your horoscope for Virgo, it doesn't really seem to speak to what's actually going on in your life. What's up with that? Well, my friend, it's not your fault. It's just that you've been focusing on the wrong thing. Let me explain. About 100 years ago, for reasons that I'm not going to go into in this video, sun sign astrology became really popular. So horoscopes were printed in the paper, and those were based on your sun sign. So, for example, if you were born on January 16th, you're a Capricorn. If you were born on March 12th, you're a Pisces. November 6th, you're a Scorpio, and so on. So you would read for your sun sign. But when an astrologer is doing a general horoscope, we don't know which house the sun lands in your particular chart. So everybody's birth chart is made up of 12 astrological houses. Think of a pizza or a pie that's sliced into 12 equal pieces, right? And each of those pieces represents one of the astrological houses, or places, they're sometimes called. Each of these houses signifies specific life themes. So, for example, the 7th house speaks to relationships, the 4th house speaks to issues of home, family, your roots. The 10th house is your career, your public life, the legacy you wish to leave, and so on. The 1st house encompasses the zodiac sign that was on the eastern horizon at the moment you were born. This is the most significant point in the chart because it speaks to your entrance into the world and it sets up the rest of the chart. When we know the rising sign, we know which houses each zodiac sign falls in and which house each of the planets was in when you were born. Putting all these pieces together is how we read an actual birth chart, but we don't need to get ahead of ourselves here. For now, the most important thing that you need to know is that if you want to get the most accurate horoscope, you need to read or watch for your rising sign, not your sun sign. Think of it this way. If you've ever used Google Maps, you must know where you're going, right? In order to get directions, obviously, but you have to know where you're starting from as well. Same as if you've ever gone hiking and looked at a trail map, or you've used one of those mall directories. If you don't have that spot on the map that says you are here, right? You don't have that you are here marker, then nothing else makes sense. Your rising sign and the specific degree of that sign that was rising at the time that you were born, which is known as the ascendant, is your personal you are here marker. If we don't have that, then everything else becomes much more difficult to navigate. So how do you know your rising sign? Well, you need to know your birth time for that. And when you have your birth time, then you can get your birth chart at various places online, or an astrologer can do that for you if you get a reading. And actually, I have created a course that will guide you through that process and get you started on the right foot. If you're interested in learning more about your own chart, or if you just want to have an accurate chart so that you can follow, horoscope videos or what have you, and get the most out of them. In this particular course that I've created, I talk about what to do if you don't know your birth time. And I cover all kinds of other interesting stuff, including the importance of having an accurate chart, right? So some people think they can just go to any online, site that offers free charts, plug in their info and get a chart. And while that is true, you need to know what to input so that you're getting the right kind of chart. Otherwise, you can get started on the wrong foot and then everything else becomes much more confusing. So in this course, I cover all of that. My new website is going to launch in the next couple of days, and that course will be available there for you. And if you want to be notified of when that happens, then you can get on my mailing list. You can go to astrologymaven.com. The link to that is below. And when you do that, you can get my free guide to working with the moon. But in the meantime, now you know that if you want the most accuracy out of your horoscope, you have to pay attention to your rising sign first and foremost. And also, here's a bonus tip for you. You have to be really discerning about where you get your information. Some horoscopes are actually written by bots or by people who don't really have any background or significant knowledge or training in astrology. Just because someone is doing horoscopes online, like on YouTube, for example, don't assume they have any actual background, right? Or formal training in astrology, or that they even really, know what they're talking about. For example, you're going to see some people combine tarot and astrology. This doesn't mean that they are trained astrologers. It might, but it doesn't necessarily. Don't get me wrong, I'm totally cool with tarot. I use it myself. But tarot is not the same thing as astrology, and astrology is not tarot, right? They may complement each other depending on how they're used, and a lot of people do use them in combination. But just because someone is telling you this is your horoscope for Taurus or, Pisces or whatever, it doesn't mean that they actually know how to read a birth chart at all, right? Or properly, perhaps. So you have to be discerning about where you're getting your information from. All right, there you have it. Now you know, listen for your rising sign first and foremost. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you got something out of it, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all the things. And if you have a particular question that you'd like me to do a video on, please let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out my Aries new moon video. That new moon is happening on April 1st, and the horoscope video for the new moon is already up on my channel. I'll link to that below. And I'll be back in a couple of weeks with another Astro Nugget for you. So hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss that. Thanks for joining me here, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.